here's the 7-4A homework. We're only graphing sine and cosine with phase shifts. So step one is you want to pull this B value out. So you have 2 sine, take the 3 out, and then it would be t plus pi over 3. Okay, that's important. Why is that important? Because this is your phase shift. This is your start position. So your amplitude is 2. Your period, you're going to take always for sine and cosine 2 pi and divide it by this b value, which is 3. So 1 full period is going to be 2 pi over 3 units long. Your increments, you take this period, whatever it is, and you cut it into 4 parts. So divide it by 4. Now I'm going to simplify, and I get pi over 6. Does anyone not understand where pi over 6 comes from? So I'm going to be counting by pi over 6 when I label my x-axis. But see this right here? That's your start position. You're going to start at negative pi over 3. It's the opposite of this, negative pi over 3. Now, I don't like the fact that the phase shift and the increments are in different denominators because I have to count by this. So I'm going to turn this into what? Negative 2 pi over 6. This is my start position. You're going to start here. And it's 1 down. That's your vertical shift. So, how do I do my graph? I'm going to label my graph at the bottom. You just start right here, negative 2 pi over 6. And we're going to count by pi over 6. So if this is negative 2 pi over 6, this is going to be negative pi over 6. Then add another pi over 6, which you get 0. So actually, this would be my y-axis. Then I have 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6. Now I'm going overboard. I don't need that much. Actually, what does it say? It says graph 1 period. 1 period. So if we start at negative 2 pi over 6, which is here. Now according to this, it's 1 down. So I need to do this. This is my new x-axis. So how does the sine curve look? Well, it's going to start here, and it's going to go 2 above, on, below, and on. There it is. I just did 1 full period. I did from negative 2 pi over 6 to 2 pi over 6. Questions?
How do you know that's a 2/3 period?
How do I know?
Well, like, how do we figure that out? Because I thought, I did it to 4/6 because I did, like, 2 pi over 3 and then multiplied it by 2. Like, I thought it had to go by the same.
Well, this is really 1/3. That's negative 1/3. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand what you're saying.
Like, to find how long you make the graph.
Well, what's the difference between these two? What's the difference between these two right here? If you did 2 pi over 6 minus, you mean why is it 2/3 length? Do you agree that this is 1 full period?
Right, yeah.
Okay, if I wanted to find the difference of these two numbers, this is 2 pi over 6 and this is negative 2 pi over 6. So 2 pi over 6 minus negative 2 pi over 6 is really 4 pi over 6. Can you reduce that for me?
Okay, so that's the 2/3.
Yeah, so that was 1 full period.
Okay,
Do you get that?
yeah, thanks.
Okay, let's do another one. So, this one is, it's written backwards, not backwards, but it's written different. The vertical shift is right here. Do you guys see that? The vertical shift is 2 up. So I'm gonna rewrite this problem as the cosine. I'm gonna take, and I think, Caesar, did you say 1 is the amplitude?
Yeah.
Yep, you are right. F of t is equal to 1 cosine. The b value is 2. T minus pi over 4 plus 2. Now, I always double check my math. 2 times t is 2t, and 2 times negative pi over 4 is 1/2, so that's good. So your period is gonna be what? 2 pi over 2. Can you simplify that for me? Pi. So to go 1 full period, it's gonna take you pi units long. Your increments, you're gonna cut this into 4 parts. Your phase shift is pi over 4 to the right. Now, some people will write pi over 4 to the right, or you could write plus pi over 4. That's your start position. Now, this is actually easier than this last problem because the increments and the phase shift are in the same denominator. So this is where you start. You start here. You're gonna start at pi over 4. So just write pi over 4. And now you're gonna add pi over 4 to each one of these. So you get 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, and 5 pi over 4. That's gonna give you 1 full period. Now, if you wanna go the other way, you can. That's where you're gonna get your y-axis. This is your y-axis. So, this one is the cosine graph, and it's shifted 2 units up. So let's do this, 2 up. And you really should label that, that's 2. Now, how does the cosine graph look? We're starting at pi over 4 to the right. What does it look like? Is it on? Is it above? Is it below? What's this one going to be? Above 1. That's why we took that test, to make sure you know the basic shapes. And there is 1 full period. Now, how do we know that that is pi units long, like Teresa asked? You could take your end, subtract your beginning. What's 5 pi over 4 minus pi over 4? And what do you get? You get 4 pi over 4, which is pi. That was pi units long. Now, if I asked you to do another period, you would keep adding pi over 4. But I'm just asking you for one period. Jesse, are you getting these now? Okay, next. Number 3. What's your amplitude? What's the B value? Let's pull it out. Some people have a hard time with this. B is pi over 3. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to do 1 over pi over 3, which is 3 over pi. Now, I double check. This times this is that. This times this is -1. It's good. Questions? They're going to get harder. How do you find your period? It's going to be 2 pi over 3. So how do you do that? How do you do 2 pi over 1 times 3 over pi? What's going to happen? What's your answer? 6. So your period is 6. Your increments, you're going to take this number and divide it by 4. So you get 3/2. Your vertical shift, you're going to take this and it's to the right. Now, check this out. These are 2 different kinds of numbers. what are you gonna do in this problem? You're gonna have to make them the same. What I would do, this is increments of 1.5. You're gonna be adding by 1.5. I would turn 3 over pi into a number without pi. So I take my calculator, and I'm gonna do 3 divided by pi, just like that, and it's 0.95. So that's your start position. You're gonna start here, but you're gonna add increments of 1.5. And your phase shift is 5 up. Or not phase, oh, I did this up, I did this the other way. Vertical shift is up 5, and phase shift, this should be here. It's okay. Just do an arrow like that. So I accidentally typed this different than here. Usually I do phase shift first and then vertical shift. So what you're gonna do is start at 0.95. If you added 1.5 to that, what's your next number? $2.45. Then add 1.5 to that. You get 3.95. Then add 1.5 to that. You get 5.45. And one more. 6.95. Now this graph is 5 up. And this is your axis right here, 5 up. And it's cosine 2. So the amplitude is 2, it's gonna be 2 up, and I'm sorry, this was not a good graph. But you would go start 2 up, go 2, back on, 2 down, 2 up, back up, and then, so it's on, it's above, on, like that. Above, on, below, on, above. Off the graph. Next one. Now we're going to ask you to graph 2 full periods. So pull out your what? So it's 1/4, right? Did I do that right? 1/4 times t is t over 4, and 1/4 times 3/4 is, that's wrong.
Would you make it 12?
Yep, it'd be 12. See? Always good to double check. This would be 12. 1/4 times 12 is 3. Now it's right. So what's your amplitude? It's 5. What's your period? 2 pi over 1/4, which is what? 8 pi? So this one's going to be horizontally stretched. It's going to be dragged out. Your increments, take this and divide it by 4, so it's, you're going to count by 2 pi. Your phase shift, this is going to be 12 to the left, or actually you could say right, negative 12. And your vertical shift is 1 down. So we are going to start here at negative 12. But we have to count by 2 pi. So what are you going to do there? These are not the same. What am I going to do? I'm going to turn 2 pi into 2. Pi is 6.28. So I'm going to have to count by 6.28. So I start with negative 12. Whoops, negative 12. Negative 12 plus 6.28. You get negative 5.72. Then add 6.28. 13, 1, 2. Let's just do one full period on this, because these numbers are crazy. Just do one full period on this one. So you're gonna go 1 unit down. I'm sure you guys can all continue to add 6.28, right? So you're gonna go 1 unit down, and it's an upside down sine curve with an amplitude of 5. So we're starting right here. We're gonna go 5 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then back on, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like this. I went 6. I knew it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be here. Maybe it looked a little lopsided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Do you get this? Oops. So to do 2 full periods, you would keep adding 6.28 and labeling your axis. Next one, number 5. Graph 2 full periods. 3 sine, pull the 2 out, t minus pi over 2. So I double check. 2 times t is 2t. 2 times pi over 2 is pi. Good. Your amplitude is 3. Your period is 2 pi over b is 2, which is pi. Cut this into 4s. Your phase shift is pi over 2 to the right. That's where you're going to start. But I don't like the fact that this is pi over 2 and this is pi over 4. So what am I going to make this equal to? I'm going to make it 2 pi over 4. And we don't have a vertical shift. We're on the x-axis. So you're going to start here at 2 pi over 4. And you're going to count by pi over 4. So this is 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, 8 pi over 4, 9 pi over 4, 10 pi over 4. They want 2 full periods. Okay, so you're going to start here. This is the sine curve. So you would start on the x-axis because there's no vertical shift. You're going to go 3 up, right there. 3 down. That's 1 full period. And then do it again. 1. There's 2 full periods. Questions? Four, cosine. Oh, this is a nice one. We don't have a b. The b value is what? 1. So what's your period? It's 2 pi. What are your increments? 2 pi over 4, so pi over 2. And this is a phase shift, 5 to the right. Again, you're going to have to turn pi over 2 into pi divided by 2 is 1.5, that's 1.57. Let's round, let's make it 1.6. Just because it's going to be crazy when we label our axis. 1.6. So we're going to start at 5 to the right, and we're going to add 1.6. So if you add 1.6, what do you get? 6.6. Add 1.6. You get 8.2. Add 1.6. I'm not going to label every one of them. 9.8. Add 1.6, 11.4, add 1.6, 13, add 1.6, 14.6, add 1.6, 16.2, add 1.6, 17.8, add 1.6, 19.4. Okay, your vertical shift is 2 up, by the way. So we're gonna go 2 up. And we're doing the cosine graph, it's 4, amplitude of 4, so we start high, 1, 2, 3, 4, go on. That's one full period right here. Make it curvy, guys, don't make it like a V, like a sharp V. And then you're gonna go back on, below, on, above. So on your test, I'm gonna be looking for these numbers, and I also need to know that, what that is, it's 2 up, and you're good. Questions? Thumbs up on this or down? Justin? Thumbs up or down? Do you get this? Okay, how do you do the next one? 7. Now, I'm introducing secant. What do you do with secant? You're gonna graph cosine. Right? Okay, amplitude is 3. Their period is 2 pi over 2, because that's your B value, so pi. Increments. Your phase shift, oh, we got lucky here. It's pi over 4 to the right, or left, I'm sorry. And 1 down. So this is where you're gonna start. You're gonna start at negative pi over 4. And if you add, you're gonna add pi over 4, that's your 0, which is your y-axis. Then pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, and so forth. We want 2 full periods. So we're gonna start here, and it's the cosine graph 3 up. Actually 1 down first, vertical shift 1 down, and you're gonna go 3 up. 1, 2, 3. So it's above, on, below, on. That's 1 full period. Now when I do this one, I'm gonna do a broken line. Make it kind of curvy. And now do your asymptotes. Your asymptotes are gonna be here, 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 and here. So what does your graph look like? That, 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 and that. Questions? That is 2 full periods. Now, how do I know that this is 2 full periods? If you subtracted these two, if you wanted to make sure, what is 7 pi over 4? 7 pi over 4 minus a negative pi over 4. 7 pi over 4 minus a negative pi over 4 is 8 pi over 4, which is 2 pi. And your period was 1 pi, so we do have 2 full periods. We're good. That's how you can double check. Last one on this set, you're gonna graph the sine curve. Pull out the 3. Your amplitude is 3, your period is 2 pi over 3. Cut this into 4s, which is pi over 6. This is a phase shift, pi over 3 to the right, I'm gonna just write plus pi over 3, and there is no vertical shift. There's no up or down. So what's our job here? To do what with these two? We want to turn this into 2 pi over 6, because we're going to count by pi over 6. So let's start. 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 6 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6, 9 pi over 6, and so forth. You can go the other way too if you wanted to, but I want to start right here. And where are we starting? On the x-axis, and it's an upside down sine curve. So we'd start here, we're going to go 3 down. That's 1 full period. And there is 2 full periods. Okay, your